Found family, found fanatics. I know that ain't who I think it is. It can't be who I think it is. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Lawrence Report as we discuss episode 19 of NBC Found Missing Wild Casualty. That can't be who I think it is. Is that, sir? My mouth absolutely dropped to the floor when I saw that he is working with the FBI. He showed up to his brother's funeral, Christian, and oh my God, what a scene! Are they about to set it up already? In next season, when we see Sir get out of prison, get out of jail, y'all let me know down in the comments. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like button as well. Let's talk about NBC Found episode 19. They set it up, y'all. I believe it's coming. The redemption story for Sir is about to happen next season. Hopefully, when we get that renewal of season 3, he is officially somehow working with the FBI. How is this even possible? We saw him show up at Christian funeral. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is going on right now? But, whoo, I still can't believe that, y'all. I still can't believe that. But let's talk about NBC Found. So we know that we're trying to track down the cases about Lena slash Heather. Will the real Lena, will the real Heather please stand up? We start coming to M&A. They're trying to figure out how her identity got stolen and all that stuff right there. And we gotta talk about this. This right here was another bombshell for me. This here was another icing on the cake for me. This Jamie and Margaret storyline, they have finally come to grips. They come to blows, as what, not physical blows, but it was conversation. Put it like that. It was a conversation that needed to be had. We know that Jamie was at his seventh birthday party, and his other mom, she was on the phone with Margaret, Carrie, right? She's on the phone with Margaret. Margaret allegedly said, "I just want to forget him," and that stuck with Jamie forever, right? We fast forward to present day. There's a conversation that needs to be had, right? Oh my God. Jamie tells Margaret that Carrie was a good mother. And Margaret's like, yo, stop it, stop it, stop it. Can't you see that she took you away from me? She lied about her son. The son is actually still alive. It was CPS that came, Child Protection Services, that actually came through. They took him away because she was being a bad mom. Jamie's conflicted. He's like, how can you say this right here? You said you didn't want me. And Margaret's like, listen, it's a lie. Man, oh my God. And Margaret just wants to know, can you find some grace? A little bit of grace for me, the same way you found some grace for her, right? Why can't you treat me the same way? I'm your actual real mother. Why in the world do you still have love, still have hope for a woman that took you away? How are you so blind? And Margaret and Jamie need to have that conversation. And it was very much needed. And I got to talk about this right here when it comes to Zeke, right? We saw Zeke, speaking of Jamie, we saw Zeke and Jamie team up, right? And they're sharing these stories about how they kind of talked about more than likely when it came to them being abducted, right? And Jamie finds out that Zeke has never really told his parents the truth about his abduction, right? Zeke was trying to tell him, we do it like the TikTok. What they see on TikTok, we listen, we don't judge. But Jamie wasn't trying to judge him, but just that Jamie was reading him. And speaking of Jamie, we also know that Jamie's going to team up. I should have said this earlier, but we know that Jamie was going to team up with Trent to bring down Carrie, right? Because Carrie is afraid. She's like, listen, will you run away with me? And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So him and Trent are going to work together to bring down Carrie. They're going to track her down. She's going to be brought down. And they're going to eventually end the storyline somewhere within these next 3 episodes, I believe, of this Jamie, Margaret, Carrie storyline that they have. So that's about to be finished very, very soon. And speaking of the case, let me talk about the case. Now we end up meeting a woman by the name of Allison. Now Jamie, I know I'm talking a lot about Jamie, but he was a lot in this episode. Jamie, I think he met her at the ER, right? And they're having a casual conversation. I'm assuming he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I work at a place called M&A. We solve cases like that, right?" And Jamie comes back to M&A, right? And they end up meeting the woman by the name of Allison. And they're getting all the details about her and her father and her brother type transplant and all that stuff right there, right? And then all of a sudden, Jamie comes out and says, you know what? We'll take the case. In front of Gabby. And then I'm like, yo, Jamie, you got some type of audacity. Just be like, yo, we just going to take the case. Not even talking over with the team. Not even calling Margaret or Gabby, right? I'm like, this guy right here, man. He is an absolute piece of work, man. Jamie, he has his pros and cons, I guess you could say, about being on the team for Gabby and them, right? So, with this case right here, it's not going to end up in a happy ending. We know that we've had a streak of episodes where it's basically been a happy ending, a welcome home moment, right? But it's not going to end like this when it comes to this transplant case that's going on right now. And I completely get it. Every episode literally can't be a happy ending. You got to have some bad ones here and there, especially with a 22 episodic order that we had this year versus last year. I think we had like 13 or something like that, right? And then Gabby comes in and let them know that he didn't make it. So pretty sad when it came to the whole transplant aspect. And we got to get down to the nitty gritty. We got to get down to the nitty gritty. I spoke on it at the top of the show. I'll go even more detail now. We know that we were at Christian's funeral, right? Sad situation. They tried to give Christian a proper burial, right? Um, I would have loved to see a little bit more Christian myself. I felt like he was caught in the matrix of Sir and his sister, who basically murdered him in cold blood, right? But they're at the funeral, that and all that stuff right there. And as they're going over, you know, it was Gabby's basically giving some words of encouragement, right, about how he was this type of man and all that. We just see that SUV pull up and hopping out. Well, sir, he's in the handcuffs. Don't get me wrong. He's not walking around freely, but I believe he was in the handcuffs, right? And he talking about rest well, good brother. And then Don said, well, basically, sir and the FBI are in cahoots together. So now it makes me wonder, sir potentially going to get out, because if he's got the jail on the side, or jail slash prison, whatever you want to call it, he got the guards on the side. I mean, what else? I mean, he's gonna get the lawyers on the side, the judges, like the whole nine. He's going to make a release more than likely next season. So, man, I don't know how he's working his magic. I don't know what he's saying to these people, but Sir may be out next season, y'all. There's a good chance he may be out. He's not going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. And I don't know how that's really going to shape up. I really know how it's going to shape up, because I really do believe that somehow, some way, he's working with the FBI. I don't know what kind of deal he cut, but he's working with the FBI, and that's basically how the episode ends. We're gonna have, what, I think 3 more episodes. I think this thing ends in May. I think so. They're really stretching it out. They're really stretching it out. So that's my thoughts about this episode. NBC found great episode. I think that Sir bombshell had everybody talking. 'Cause nobody was expecting that. Nobody was expecting that. And as always, thank you for tuning into the Lawrence Report.